Hello guys, welcome to your own channel Chess Radio Kolkata. Now we are going to see some lines against d4. Yes, we are going to see a setup called the Budapest gambit. So we can see the main line and the side lines of the Budapest gambit. Okay, so main move is d4. Then against d4, a lot of players are thinking that what should I play, and they just play like a d5. That's kind of moves, and and after c4 like queen's gambit, they don't know how to deal with it. Like they play this kind of moves like slav or semi-slav. So these are so much passive and old, so I don't recommend this kind of move, although I can suggest you to play knight h6. Like if they play knight c3, then you can play e6, and that is called the Nimzowitsch defense. So you can go for the Indian defense or the Nimzowitsch defense according to that. Okay, so after knight f6, first of all, we can see the main line of the Budapest, which is starting after c4, and black plays e5. That is the starting position of the Budapest gambit. Now, if they capture the pawn, then you have two choices. You can go to knight e4 or knight g4. So, if the knight g4 is the Budapest gambit main line, and knight e4 is the Fajarovich variation. Okay, so just before starting that, you can see another line. Thanks to the Eric Rosen, I have discovered this trap that white can play the move knight d2. So here we can strike the center with e5, and after capturing the pawn, we can play the move knight g4. Now here white does not feel comfortable with this knight, so he can kick out the knight by playing the move h3. So here black just win the match. How? Like you can pause and find out the move. I'm showing you right now. It's knight to e3, and you can see we are attacking the queen, and the queen is gone. If white needs to play knight c4 and just giving up the queen to that, and he is greedy enough and capture our knight, then we just simply checkmate to white in just two moves. Can you see the move? Yes, it's queen h4 check. Now the only legal move is to move the g pawn like g3, and after capturing the g3, it's a check. There is no legal way that white can save the match. Okay, so let's back to the main move, that is knight to g4 line. Just for that, like d4, knight f6, c4, and now we are striking the center with e5, and after he captures d4, let's see the Fajarovich variation with the knight e4. Now here white will probably play f3, and here you can simply give a check, and after blocking the pawn, just simply capture with the knight, and just mention that you cannot capture with the pawn because rook is hanging. Okay, so in that case, if white plays any normal developing move such as knight c3, then we are retreating our knight back and to e4, and it's a check. Knight is controlling the escape square of d2, and here you probably also try another move Like before giving up the check with the queen, you can also provide the check from the bishop. So at this position, white has to cover the check. Like you can ask that white can play knight c3. No, knight c3 is not possible because we have simply capture the knight, and after recapturing, we have simply capture the pawn, and it's a fork to the king and rook. So moving up the any piece like blocking with the bishop, and after recapture the queen, you can see why black is an exchange. Just the seven move of the game, and black obtain exchange. Okay, and here also you can check the king, and after capturing, you just capture the pawn. And now if you can count the pawn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pawns white has, and black has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pawns. So it's a clear advantage, and I know that you can win from here. Okay, let's see the main line with knight f3. So here at this position, you can see the knight is attacking the e5 pawn. So it's very important for white to save the pawn in order to gain his advantage. So he played knight f3, and here we just develop our piece with the knight c6, and after such a move like bishop c4, here black will probably give a check with bishop d4 check, and here if white play knight c3, then we simply capture the knight, and after pawn captures, you can see the scatter pawn structure in the queen side. Knight can move to the d2 square. So at this position, it is advisable to play queen e7. Now there is a 3 attacker on the e5 pawn, so there is impossible to save the e5 pawn. And now if white wants to uh, threaten our bishop, like if what, so then your bishop will be trapped. So don't fall for that. At this position, it's time to capture the pawn. Okay, now you can see that my bishop is hanging, so I just take a pawn and he will be a piece up, but that's what black wants, because now black can play knight d3 check, and you can see knight is threatening to checkmate the white king, and the pawn is split, so it's a smothered. Same can be happens like after this move, if knight captures, you can simply capture with the knight, and at this position they probably take the bishop, and you can deliver the same check. Okay, now at this position, after capturing the knight, you can see white can capture the knight with his bishop at e5. So immediately capturing the bishop will be probably a loss, because black can simply lose a piece. So you need to play an intermediate move over here, like you have to play bishop captures knight, and after the queen captures, you have to capture the bishop. Okay, so at the starting position, you can see uh, uh, black is just ready to castle, and after moving d6 and developing the bishop, black just completes this development within 3 moves. But here white wants to move a pawn and bishop, and then castle. So you can explore this advantage with your games. Okay, at this position, okay, at this position, after bishop f4, I learned a line from William Graif. Thanks for showing me the line. Like after f6, probably the pawn can capture the f6. So queen captured f6, and now you can see threat to capture the b2 pawn and f4 bishop. So at this position, you can see such a move like knight to c3 or knight to d2, simply losing the bishop. So don't laugh, your opponent can fall for this kind of traps. So so here probably white can play queen c2 to protect all of these squares, but you can see there's so much passive, and you just probably provide a check, and after blocking the check, there should be a blunder because we can capture the bishop, so it must play the knight to c3, and at this position you capture with the bishop. Now white cannot capture with his queen because the bishop will be dropped, so white needs to capture with the pawn. And you can see at the early stage of the game, like it's just uh, 13 moves, and the white get a scatter pawn structure. There's a two isolated pawn on the queen side, so it's very easy to win. Now you can simply capture one pawn, and if it blocks with the bishop, then you can capture the second pawn. And now if you count the pawns, then white have 5 pawns, and black has 6 pawns. So that's also an advantageous move. So you can see how strong is this kind of attack with the Budapest gambit. And at this position, your opponent can play passively, like retrieve the bishop back to the c1. So at this position, we simply provide a check, and after blocking the check with the knight, we just simply castle, and there is a lot of line at this position, like you can castle, or you can play knight e3. For going to the depth analysis of this line, he has a wonderful video on this line. Like if a knight capture, then it's a blunder because queen capture f2 is a mate. Okay, so that's kind of trailing position you can get from this variation. Okay, okay, let's see declined line. What can white do? Like d4, knight f6, c4, and now we are striking the center with e6, and after d captures e5, we play knight g4, attacking the pawn, and that is the main starting position of the Budapest. But it is not necessary to capture the pawn, so white must forward the pawn and gaining some space advantage. But we just simply develop our bishop, and if knight blocks, then we simply capture the knight, and after pawn decaptures, you can see the scatter pawn structure on the queen side. That's a double isolated pawn, and black is ready to castle on the next move, so that is not possible. And you can also try the move bishop to c5. like at this position, we are threatening the pawn on f2. So uh, white must protect the with e3, and you can see that this bishop is dim right now. It's just like a tall pawn at this position, because the bishop doesn't have any square. So you have a lot of moves to develop the bishop, like moving your b3 pawn, and then you have to develop your bishop, and after bishop f5, you need to put your bishop up, and then black just finishes development, where white needs one more move to complete his development. So you can see that's kind of game advantage you can get Budapest gambit line. Let's show you the last line, like it's on the accepted line. It's e4, knight f6, and d4. Now here you can play e5 to striking up the center, and after capturing the pawn you can play knight g4, attacking the f2 square with your knight. So and also threatening to win the pawn on e5. So white has to deal with it. So he will play knight f3, developing and also protecting the pawn. And at this position you can also play the move such as d6. Now here, if pawn captures the d6, then bishop captures, and if your opponent doesn't feel comfortable or play any any normal passive moves, like h3, then you can simply capture the pawn, and this f2 knight is now forking queen and rook. So white must have to capture the knight, and after recapturing we are simply providing bishop g3 check. And after, now you can see king doesn't want to go back and help his queen. So king must have to capture the bishop, and after that we are simply capture the queen, and we are gaining a queen early in the game. So that's also a winning advantage for black. Okay, so considering all these lines, you can play the Budapest gambit. It's too much fun to play at the club levels, and if you want more research, then you can follow Remote Chess Academy, Eric Rosen channel, and William Graif channel for more videos on the Budapest. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope we will meet you soon. Till then, take